Hit that like button when you come in here. Shout out to my dog Eric. I didn't get to properly prepare like I wanted to, but you guys know how it is. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm Moedotj. This is the Mo You Know. All right. I'm kind of on a time restraint, you know what I'm saying? Business is booming. They sliding through the day. You dig what I'm saying? Had to go get the car detailed. What up? What up? I'm Moedotj. This is the Mo You Know. Today we're going to be talking about art. Now I got to give a special shout out to my dog Eric. If you haven't joined the Discord, my girl Kendall will put the Discord in the chat for us. He sent me a link talking about a stolen Van Gogh, and I said, if you guys give me the foundation, I will build the building on top of it. So on top of the Van Gogh information that he sent me, I said, you know what? I followed this heist over in Boston from way back when. So we're going to talk about that a little bit so we can talk about the largest heist in art history. Now, two different topics, same subject. This is what I love about the Mo You Know. So we're about to take a little walk on down this path. Now, the article that Eric has sent me is from The Guardian. The article that he sent is from The Guardian. And it says, a little bit cursed, how stolen Van Gogh was a headache for the criminal world. Now, when we watch TV shows, we seen that art and it's an investment. Now, that investment is only dependent on if somebody actually values it at that price. We got Bel Air, we seen Aunt Viv painting, we got The Shy, we seen Emmett buy some artwork. Well, all that BS behind us, we're gonna talk about some real deal history here. Now they're talking about a stolen Van Gogh. I haven't read the article because I wanted to get on here and talk to you guys about it. But let me see where we at. Pin that message. All right, here we go. So in this article is a little bit about Van Gogh. Now, Van Gogh was a world-renowned artist, a painter. So we got to go over the history of Van Gogh before we actually jump into this so we understand exactly why this is so significant in American history, well, in world history. All right. So over at the National Gallery, Vincent Van Gogh, 1853 to 1890. Off the top of your dome, you're like, damn, he's a young man. But you got to remember the average age back then, you probably only lived to about 45, 50. Well, Van Gogh is today one of the most popular of the most post imper impressionist painters. Although he was not widely appreciated during his lifetime, which most people never are. That's why they say give you your flowers while you're here. He is now famed for the great vitality of his work, which are characterized by expressive and emotive use of brilliant couleur. See, we're over here talking about the UK couleur and energetic application. All right, Van Gogh was born in Holland, the son of a pastor. Papa don't preach because I'm in trouble. He traveled to London in 1873. So he was 23 years old when he traveled to London. 1853. No, he was 20 years old when he went to London. First visited Paris in 74 the next year. Over a decade, he was employed in various ways, including a lay preacher. By 1883, 7 years before he passed, he started painting. So it's never too late to start. 1883, he started painting. 2023, we're talking about his paintings now. So only 7 years in the game, 7 years in the game, and he became a G, a legend. Uh, He started painting 85, 86. He attended the academy in Antwerp, where he was impressed by Japanese prints by the works of Rubens. On his return to Paris in 1886, he met an artist such as Degas. We got to see who these people are, but we're going to look them up in a minute. And as a result, lightened the couleurs he used. All right, here we go. In 1890, suffering from a new bout of depression, he shot himself in the chest and died 2 days later. Damn. Here go a couple of his artwork. Now, to us, we might be looking at it like, man, what the hell? But to the art world, they like, this is what it is. Now, I've seen this picture. I've seen this one in person and this one. Oh, this was in there too. This room 43. All right. So that's a little bit about Van Gogh. Now, this article is talking about one of his pieces being stolen. The Indiana Jones of the art world traces lost artwork seized from museum during COVID lockdown. So during the lockdown, people were getting busy. It was a masterpiece with a curse. An early Van Gogh worth $3 to $6 million in euro, roughly 5.2 million in pounds. So 5.2 million in pounds, we're just gonna take the high end. Gonna be about roughly $6 or $7 million. Let me see. What they say on the high end, 5.2, 5, 2, 2, 3, just 520. Roughly 6.5 million USD. It was a masterpiece. It was stolen from a Dutch museum 3 years ago and was being passed around the criminal world like a hot potato, according to art detective Arthur Brand. And the reason for that is because whenever these pieces are stolen, everyone knows that they're stolen. You can't pass these off to no one. No one's going to buy it. Now, you can sell it on the underworld. The only thing is, you'd have to sell this for a ransom. You're definitely not going to get the $5 to $6 million that it's worth. You're probably selling it on the low end, $2 million every time it changes hands. But you can't hold on it too long, because as they start cracking down, they're going to be arresting everyone that has anything to do with this. Now, the underworld, yeah, it's a deep, dark place, but trust me, trust me. The reason the underworld isn't that scary The reason the underworld isn't that scary is because people from the underworld, they work with the law. There are people in the underworld that their sole purpose is going in the underworld and finding information for the law for a little fee on the side. Just like if you turn people in for taxes, the IRS gives you a little bit of money. So if you see a stripper getting some money and you know she ain't paying taxes, you could technically turn her in and they give you $1,500, $2,000. People are doing that, making a living off of that. Now, me, I wouldn't do it, but you can do it. All right. It says, we knew that the painting would go from one hand to another hand in the criminal world, but nobody really wanted to touch it because it wasn't worth anything. See what I'm saying? It's not going to be worth anything if it's stolen, because once it's discovered, then they ain't going to do nothing but put it on they're going to put it back in auction. Let's say it's worth roughly $5 million. They're going to put it in auction since it's been stolen and passed around. Now the price then went up. So instead of being $5 million, it's probably going to be worth about $8 million once they put it up to auction. Eight probably go for like 10 or 12 with all the inflation, because this is about 3 years ago, 2020. Numbers were down, you know what I mean? But inflation then went through the roof. So now we got to figure out what to do with this damn paint. Who is known for retrieving stolen artworks, you can only get in trouble. So it was a little bit cursed. And that's how all these paintings are. They're too much for you to just have. Like if I was to unroll a photo, yeah, I'm like, damn, where you get that from? Oh man, it's that Van Gogh. Then I'm going to jail. I can't sell it to nobody. You can't put it on display. But we got actual footage here. So this was the reason that on Monday night he received an unusual visitor at the door of his apartment in Amsterdam. Shout out to Amsterdam. Holding a battered blue IKEA bag. Brand rushed up the stairs with the bag, along carefully unwrapped a long painting from bubble wrap in front of his colleague, recording the moment on the video. And compared to the back of the painting with the image he had been sent as proof of life that Van Gogh still existed, it was the same. It's him, he said. It's him, he said. It's him. Vincent Van Gogh is back. What a day. Who says that? It's him. It's him. Vincent Van Gogh is back. What a day. Splendid. They done found the Van Gogh. Now they got professionals that do this. And if you watch Pawn Stars, yeah, I know it's set up, but if you watch Pawn Stars, they always bringing in these experts. You got uh what is it? The guys that do the signatures, you got people that can verify painting. It is just a whole bunch of professionals out there. Now, me, I can professionally break down a TV show, but I can't tell you much outside of that realm. But what a day. We got a Van Gogh back. We got a Van Gogh back. So let's see what this damn video was hitting on. Man, get this off my screen. A thief has made off with a prize painting by Vincent van Gogh. The early hours of 30 March. So this is in Lauren, Netherlands. So they skirting off. I guess it ain't no sound. It's from the outside. The thief used a sledgehammer to break through 2 layers of protective glass. So he over here. Then he getting to it, ain't he? He knew exactly where he's going. Look at him. Then he going to work too, ain't he? No arrests have yet to be made, and the artwork is still missing. He knew exactly what was going in there for too. No distractions. He almost slipped on that glass. Y'all see that? Watch Claire. Whoop, whoop. The painting is thought to be worth millions. It's a big ass painting. He had to roll that up. So this was in 2020 during the pandemic. Monday night, the end of a 3.5-year search for the artwork stolen in a brazen smash and graph in the early hours of 30 March 2020. This is literally right when the pandemic happened. March 16th is when California shut down. So March 30th, 14 days later, he broke into here, the small single Lorem museum in the Netherlands. At that point, closed due to the coronavirus restrictions and a heist that made headlines across the world. But while the thief, who walked off with the personage garden at Noonan, man, I tell you, when it comes to these names, boy, I'm terrible. Spring and under his right arm, named by Dutch media as Niels M, was behind bars. And so was Peter Roy K, the criminal who prosecutors believe ordered it. So Peter Roy K is in prison, and he's known for ordering. No, we want that in English. English? All right. So Peter Roy K, you know how we go. We go down this rabbit hole. We supposed to be talking about artwork, but they're saying that Peter Roy K, 38, is the mastermind behind a large-scale cocaine smuggling and involved in a stolen Van Gogh, according to public prosecution services. Now, what year is this? Okay, this is April 13th, 2021. Amersfoort transport entrepreneur Peter Roy was the spider in the web of the widespread cocaine gang. The man who recently negotiated the return. Oh, so he negotiated the return of a stolen Van Gogh from his cell with a contact from the underworld. With the knowledge of the law, had 13 accomplices. That's all the information y'all gonna give us? We want to know how large scale was Peter Roy K's cocaine deal. Yeah, okay. Okay, Al just here. They got it on here. So this ties in what we got going on. Hey, thanks, Eric. Everyone say thanks, Eric. Now we got us some information. Now we're cooking. Now we're getting somewhere. See, we need the story behind the story. All right, bet. We'll get back to this. We know we're looking for Peter Roy K. We're going to look into Peter Roy and see how big this cocaine smuggling was, because we might need to do a story on Peter Roy and all the crimes that he's connected to. All right, bet. Um, Peter Roy, in attempt to negotiate a reduced sentence, the early Van Gogh was nowhere to be found. So he wanted, so he had the guy steal the painting. He was going to turn the painting in to negotiate his sentence. Oh, wow. Listen, he's in prison. He ordered a hello. Mo, I need you to go get a Van Gogh. A Van Gogh? What is that? Oh, a painting? What you want me to do with it? Roll it up and give it to you? You in prison. Man, do it, man. I'm trying to get up out of here. So wait, you want me to go steal a Van Gogh, give you the Van Gogh where I don't make any money from it, and then you turn it in to reduce your sentence? Nigga, please. Hey, Roy, if you don't get off my phone, I'ma call the police myself and let them know what you got going on. What kind of shit? Hey, this dude, Peter Roy, is different. He's behind bars. He's locked up for cocaine. He's telling people to go steal shit so he can turn it in to get it reduced. Oh man, this dude, Peter Roy, he might be a intercontinental legend. All right. That wasn't until Brand, the man nicknamed the Indiana Jones of the art world, had a lead. In a prearranged handover with the agreement of Dutch police, he took a home delivery of one of the world's most wanted paintings. Brand, who is most famous for having recovered the Hitler's horse's bronze statue, a Picasso painting, and a ring that was once belonged to Oscar Wilde, told The Guardian that such as a famous stolen wait, told The Guardian, here we go, that such a famous stolen item had become a headache, and the man who eventually handed it over to him had nothing to do with the theft. So he called from jail to get someone else to steal it. But once that person stole it, he probably realized that this is too hot and everyone's looking for it. And instead of giving it to Roy, he sold it to someone on the underground. Brand went to do his research. He got in connection with somebody else who had nothing to do with it but could get their hands on it. Oh, okay. Okay. It was world news at the time when it was stolen. We are Dutch. It happened in the Netherlands, so it was a disaster. Luckily, the police were able to arrest everybody involved. The thief, who got 8 years and a fine for 8.7 million. What? He got a fine for 8.7. That's worth more than the. How you finding me more than what the artwork is? So he gets sentenced to 8 years. The person that stole it, he gets sentenced to 8 years in 8.7. So he got to pay $1 million, well, $1.2 million every single year he's went to jail. Damn, where's that at? And he probably didn't even get paid up front. So Niels M has also been given the maximum prison sentence of 8 years on appeal for stealing he stole two of them, by Vincent Van Gogh and Franz Hals. The very expensive canvases were stolen in 2020 and are still missing. All right, boom, boom, boom. So on March 30th, he stole the paintings. 5 months later, on August 26th, Hall's painting Two Laughing Boys disappeared from a museum. So in March, he stole the Van Gogh. 5 months later, he stole the Franz Hall's painting Two Laughing Boys. The paintings belong to the core collection of both museums. The Van Gogh is owned by the Groninger Museum. All right, bet. Damn, 8 years. So if he got locked up in 2021, damn, 2029. All right, bet. Nah, I just still know Van Gogh. When I go over there, when I go in museums, I keep my hand behind my back. I don't ever want to touch nothing. I don't want to accidentally bump into nothing. I love going to museums though, especially art, like art museums. Not like the paintings, but like actual art where they come. I go to planetariums, I go to aquariums, I go to all of that. I enjoy just walking around. Man, I got two vlogs that I need to put together from 2021 during the pandemic. I went to the aquarium. I went to two aquariums. I went to the planetarium in San Francisco. I did all of that. That's what I do on my free time. I don't just listen to rap music. Sometimes I get out there and enjoy the world. But anyway, he got 8 years, $8.7 million in fines. Eventually, I was contacted by somebody who said, Mr. Brand, can you do something for me? He said, I could turn in the Van Gogh. But, however, comma, let's be clear, I don't want to get in trouble. Listen, Mr. Brand, I can turn in the Van Gogh, but you got to do me a favor. You need to go talk to the Dutch police and Interpol and let them know that I had nothing to do with this. I can turn it in. I don't want no jail time. I don't want no $8.7 million fine. I don't want none of that. Now, Mr. Brand, he can't make any guarantees, but Mr. Brand, he's been working with the Dutch police because this is really an embarrassment to the country. It's just the way it is, man. They take things a little bit seriously overseas. Yeah, of course, we got American pride, but we also had January 6th. So you go do the math. But something like this, they're working directly with the Dutch police. And if they can get this photo, I mean, not the photo, but the painting back, that's going to be big for the city. Now, as he told Mr. Brand, I don't want to get in trouble. I had to gain his confidence. And when I said yesterday, he decided to deliver it to my home. Now, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm not gonna deliver it. All I'm gonna do is give somebody, hey, here's $100. I need you to deliver this to this doorstep. I'm not going to do it. But he said he was waiting at the corner of the street in a bar. The director of the museum. So he was waiting down the street in a bar, waiting for them to turn it in. He owns the painting. The museum owns the painting, which had been out on loan. So what they mean by it being out on loan is just like um what is it? The exoskeleton, when you see them they go on the road, or you see the Titanic go different places. It's basically going on tour. One museum alone, something else to another museum to have an exhibit, or they might be having a speaker, somebody coming in. So that's meaning at the time that it was stolen, the painting was actually loaned out to another museum. Um, the Groninger Museum, which owns the painting, which had been out on loan, and who swiftly authenticated it. Bloom was, he said, relieved and happy. All right, bad man. Where's the action at? Man, we don't care how the museum felt. Y'all got it back. We got jail time. And then, all right, you always imagine this moment, Bloom said. And there were moments when we thought it was getting closer, but it didn't happen. So we were quite what the fuck? Traumatized by the disappointments. Boy, I need my glasses for sure. And then you say, I only believe it when I see it in the flesh. So I was super relieved and more relieved when it put it. So basically, Brand didn't do no work. I'm thinking when they say Indiana Jones, I'm thinking Brand was out there making things happen. People got in contact with Brand. But that's because the block was getting hot. So we can't discredit Brand because he did find this and other artifacts. I just call them artifacts, but paint. So Mr. Brand seemed like he's doing his job. It says the frameless painting which is understood to have several scratches visible after being stored, is at the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam for expert analysis and restoration. Senior researcher said he cannot wait to see it. So of course they got to bring it in. They already authenticated it, so you got to come in. When they authenticate these paintings, it's a lot. It's a lot in these processes. So not only do they go by the painting, they can tell what kind of paint's been used on there. They can determine the cracking on the paint to determine if it's really originally painted in 1884. It's a lot of stuff. If I can find a video, we'll go over that, how they actually authenticate these paintings. I'll look that up in the background because I got another video for us. Hold on. It's one of the earlier paintings from 1884. Remember, he only had 6 years left. He only lived for 6 years after this. So in his 7-year span, man, he was knocking out more in 7 years than I did in my lifetime. One of his paintings is worth more than what I did in my lifetime, man. He did this all in 7 years. Damn it, Van Gogh. You're one of the greats. This is one of the first paintings he ever did, a beautiful sight of the gardens behind. Even though this early period is often described as being smoky and dark, it already shows his talent as a colorist, not the colors y'all thinking of. All right, blah, 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 blah. Now this is just talking about the thing. All right. So they got the Van Gogh back. Old boy's behind jail. We got to look up Roy. We got to look up what Roy has done. How big is his actual operation? Pause. Roy K. Let me find his name. But Elon and Rupert Murdoch, a small number of billionaire owners, have a powerful hold on such information that reaches the public about what's happening in the world. The Guardian is different. We have no billionaire owner or shareholders to consider. Our journalism is produced to serve the public interest, not profit motives. All right, bet, Guardian. We'll be fucking with y'all for a little bit. All right. Well, shout out to Eric. We got that. We got the Van Gogh returned 2020 to 2023. We got that returned. That's good. Let me see. This is Van Gogh. See, all they giving us is information about this, man. We want to know about his time in jail. So in 2021, they already knew the Netherlands in 2021, they knew that it had something to do with it. The stolen Van Gogh likely hangs on cocaine kingpin's wall. All right, so let's see what they got to talk about Roy. Damn, when I tell you this pain, I mean, all right, the Northern Times in Netherlands. The cocaine boss allegedly wants to use the painting as collateral to help him escape a huge jail sentence. Moe, you never know if the Bel Air artwork you drew will be worth something one day. Just don't sell the black family one. Hey man, that's in one of them boxes in the room back there. I gotta find all that. We're gonna start new. We got a whole new season of Bel Air coming, and we're gonna start new. Shit, he ain't have it hanging over his fireplace, man. He in jail. I don't know where he had it hanging. But all right, it wanted to help escape. A painting by Van Gogh, owned by the museum, is likely to be in the possession of a drug kingpin. He wants to use the painting as a change in order to receive a reduced sentence from the court in exchange for the painting being returned. Peter Roy is now in Dutch jail. He allegedly bought a stolen Van Gogh in March of last year. The work from 1884 likely cost the criminal about 400,000 euros. So we can roughly say about $500,000. So the painting is worth $6 million on the high end, $3 million on the low end. But as I was mentioning earlier, it ain't worth nothing because you can't sell it anywhere. So he bought it for $400,000. Well, 500,000 USD. At the end of March, all of this is allegedly. We don't know what Peter Roy talking about. At the end of March last year, Van Gogh's birthday, the painting Spring Garden of the Pastoral Garden in Noonan was stolen from the Singer Museum in Lauren. A thief smashed into the glass with a sledgehammer. We got that already. I can't do more than man. They not giving us the information we want on Peter Roy. Peter Roy, cocaine sentencing. Peter Roy, Dutch. Yeah, they not giving us no information. They don't even care about Peter Roy's jail sentence. They just want the damn painting. Well, he paid $500,000, but I can't find anything else on him. So we're gonna continue on. I'll look up Peter Roy on my own time because now I want to know. See, man, but I can't move on because I want to know what the hell Peter Roy was doing. All right. Well, they got the Van Gogh back. That's all that matters. Old boy that got locked up. Listen, the guy that stole it has to pay $8.9 million or some shit like that. The guy who stole it has to pay $8.7 million back, serve 8 years in jail. The guy who bought it for $400,000. When I tell you this has to be one of the biggest L's, you made 400,000 but lose 8.3 in the long run. Like when it's all said and done, you lose 8 years and 8.3 million. Now, of course, he's not going to have to pay that $8.7 million back, but still, when the court drops that, you hear in 8 years, you're like, damn, 8 years. Oh, and you got to find an 8.7. Whoa, 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 whoa. Your Honor, can I speak to the court real quick? All right, listen up, guys. First of all, I'll do the 8 years. I stole the Van Gogh. I'll do the 8 years, but 8.7 million is a little absurd, right? Let's just be honest. If I'm gonna be crystal clear with the court today, I only made $400,000 off the paint. I only made 400,000. It's not like I got eight sitting in the bag. He didn't give me a milli. He gave me 400,000, a measly five. I didn't get a mill. I got a measly five. We can't. Can we cut some? Hey, can we just say 700,000, 70,000, or something like that? I don't have a job. 8 years in prison. I get out. It's gonna be hard for me to pay that 8.7 back. Y'all gonna have to do something. Now, maybe y'all can sell the artwork, put it up for auction, and that'll cover my expense, and y'all can still keep a $3-4 million profit. Can we do that? Can we meet somewhere halfway? Because it sounds like y'all were going to negotiate with Peter Roy K. He was going to turn it in. Y'all didn't take that. Come on, man. Y'all really going to do this? 8 years, 8.7 mil. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that there is the Van Gogh that's returned. But once Eric sent me this, I said, we got to talk about the largest heist. And this is from the Gardner, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum up in Boston. Now, this took place back in 1990. Now, this all happened in 1990. Now, if you haven't heard of this, they stole roughly $500 million worth of paintings. Now, when they came in here, they knew exactly what they were there for. These are not how could I put it, Braden and Kane robbing the corner store. No, no, no. These are pros, these are experts. And what they did was when they went in there to get the paintings, this is how disrespectful they were. They didn't take the paintings down, they cut the paintings out. Get you a little blade, make a little incision in the top left, and then you're going to go across. Now, depending on how sharp your blade is, you can either get you a smooth cut through, is what you want to do, because you don't want the perforated edges. You know what I'm saying? Like you taking paper out of a notebook. No, you don't want that. So you want to kind of get a good cut, but you got to have a sharp enough blade that you can slice all the way through. Just like you playing, what's that thing? Ninja fruit. You know what I'm saying? You got to get a full. If not, it's going to be fucked up. But the paintings are already going to be damaged from being stolen. Now, here goes the two paintings here. I got the security footage of when they came in there. And then we got the story behind it. So I'm going to let the story play just so we can see what happened, because they had a lot of security. But when you hear the story behind what happened at the Gardner Museum, you're going to be like, damn. Damn. Mo, this really happens in real life? Yes, it does. This is how they left the place right here. Now, Netflix has it on theirs, but I knew about this before Netflix even dropped it. This is 2021 when Netflix came, and well, we can't play that, but they give us some details here. We're going to go into that. Two robbers dressed as police officers rang the bell at Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, and they said they were responding to a reported break-in. Once inside, they told the guard, "This is a robbery." So two people disguised as police officers knocked. "Hey, we're responding. The alarm went off. We need to go in there." But once these two police officers came into the building, they tied up the two security guards that were on watch, and then they went in, robbed, and did everything that they needed to do. So let's go ahead and see this. We'll let them explain it. Yeah, we'll let them explain it, and I'll be right back.
It's Sunday, March 18th, 1990. Early morning, just past midnight. It's dark, still, silent. But not for long. Partygoers are leaving a rowdy St. Patrick's Day party located near the museum. Stumbling, they catch a glimpse of what appears to be two policemen sitting in a parked car near the museum entrance. Wanting to avoid any confrontation, they walk the other way without a second thought.
I mean, because let's be real. If I'm coming out of a bar in the middle of the night and I see two police officers, I'm avoiding the police officers. So now we're getting an understanding of what's going on here. If you come out the bar and you see two cops over there, the first thing I'm thinking, okay, there go police. Let me walk that way. If the car's facing this way, let me walk that way. So they're gonna have to bust a U-turn. But by the time they bust a U-turn, I can hit the U-turn too. You dig what I'm saying? But seeing two police officers, that's just on a common night, man, especially leaving a bar. You want that kind of protection.
Meanwhile, inside the museum are two security guards, Rick Abbott and Randy Hestend. Abbott is a veteran security guard who often works the night shift, and Heston is working the night shift for his first time. Per museum security policy,
Bruh, can you imagine this on your first day of work? Your first day of work, you getting hog-tied.
one guard is to patrol the galleries while the other sits at the front security desk. Being more experienced, Abbott grabs his flashlight and heads on patrol first. As every other night, it's business as usual. Nothing appears out of the ordinary. Everything in its rightful place. Abbott calmly walks from one hall to the next, following his usual routine. After one final trip through the rooms, he starts walking back to the desk. Then, all of a sudden, multiple fire alarms. Startled, Abbott quickly rushes toward the source of the sound.
Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. Just me watching this. One day I want to be able to put together documentaries like this. This is what I want to present to you guys. But I it's just easier for me to get on here and talk to you guys and actually research it live. But I do want to be able to put this together someday. But I don't think I got the damn mental capacity to put together something like this. This is good to me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I need someone that can edit videos for me, like for real, for real. 'Cause this is what I really want to do.
But he finds nothing. No hint of smoke. No trace of fire. Confused but contained, he heads to the security room and locates the fire alarm control panel. The panel indicates smoke in multiple locations. He scratches his head. Having already checked the rooms, he chalks it up to a malfunction and resumes patrol. Before completing his rounds, Abbott does something strange, something he doesn't usually do. He pauses at the side entrance of the museum and briefly opens the side door before shutting it again. Abbott returns to the front security desk around 1 a.m., at which point Heston takes over patrol.
It's 1 a.m. We just left the bar about 12.
It's now 1:20 a.m., and the two police officers from earlier drive up to the side entrance, park, and walk to the side door. The door that Abbott mysteriously opened and closed. They ring the buzzer. Nobody
What up, Trip?
answers. So they ring it again. A brief pause, then they hear a voice. Abbott answers through the intercom. The police explain that they are investigating a disturbance. Abbott sees them on the closed-circuit TV and notices they're wearing police uniforms. So at 1:24 a.m., he lets the men in. They confidently approach Abbott at his desk and ask if anyone else is in the museum. Abbott radios to his partner to return to the security desk. The first police officer tells Abbott that he looks familiar. He then explains that they have a warrant for his arrest. Abbott cooperates and steps away from the desk. Out of nowhere and without hesitation, the officer forces Abbott against a wall.
First of all, any police come up to me talking about they got a warrant for my arrest, nigga, let me see that warrant because I know I ain't did nothing. And I'm at work. Man, I'm top flight security. What you mean I got a warrant? But this is 1990. Maybe it was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just like, all right, the police are here. Maybe it's a mistake. But remember, they initially said they were responding because of the fire alarm going off. But once they got inside, this is where they're going to tell them this is a robbery. So it was all over the place, but it was only 2 security guards for the whole museum. Now, if you remember that movie, what was it, A Night at the Museum with Nicolas Cage, where they were running around doing all kinds of wild shit in there? That's how big museums are. Now, with just these 2 on it, this is 1990, though. This is pre 9/11 and everything. So security wasn't really security back then. Security was just security. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no securing. It was just security back then. We're going to be curious of what's going on here. We not securing nothing. We're just security. We're not security at this moment. Just so y'all can figure out where we at. Because this is 1:28, 4 minutes from them arriving.
And handcuffs him. At the same time, Heston walks into the room. And now the second officer grabs him and does the same. With both security guards now detained, the officers lead them to the basement and secure them to a sturdy pipe. One of the officers kneels down to the 2 men, handcuffed to the pipe, leans in closely, and says, "Gentlemen, this is a robbery."
You are watching Disrupt.
Shout out to Disrupt, their YouTube.
Shutting the door behind them, both of the thieves lock the men in the dark basement and walk back up the steps.
Remember, this is 1990. This is not top flight security. It's just security right now. No guns, no whistles, no baton, just a flashlight and a radio. Kind of like Rose from Titanic. Help! Help! We're in the basement! Help! Can't nobody hear you in the basement of a museum in 1990. And everyone that's outside that can hear is drunk, inebriated. They're drunk. They toe up. You know, if I hear somebody yelling, help, I'm in the basement. Mo knows 1 or 2 things that you don't do. You never go in the basement. You never go in the basement, and you never hide in the bathroom. In scary movies, those are the easiest place to get got. So for me, it sounds like it might be in the basement talking about, Mo, help, I'm in the basement. Hell no. Someone that got a phone, please call 911. That sounds like someone's in that basement.
Back into the museum.
Look at this.
The thieves move through the museum unopposed. Their movements captured on infrared motion detectors. They begin in the Dutch room, smashing frames and taking what art they can carry. They find that as they get too close to the paintings, a small surveillance device begins beeping. They quickly smash these devices, leaving shreds spread across the gallery floor. At 1:51 a.m., the thieves move to a section of the museum known as the Short Gallery, located on the 2nd floor. They turn to the paintings they came for. They focus on Rembrandt and Degas.
Rembrandt.
Masterpieces. Among the paintings stolen, the Sea of Galilee, A Lady and Gentleman in Black, The Concert, Che Tortoni, Rembrandt's famed self-portrait. In total, the thieves make off with 13 prized pieces of art that had shaped art culture for hundreds of years. Satisfied with their haul, they prepare to leave, but not without checking on the guards to make sure they haven't moved. Paintings in hand, they make a final stop at the security office, where they take the videotapes that recorded their entrance. At 2:40 a.m., more than an hour after their arrival, the thieves move the artwork out of the museum in 2 trips before speeding away into the night. The robbery lasts 81 minutes in total. Minutes pass, then hours. The next shift of guards arrive later that morning. As they do each morning, they make a call through the buzzer to get let in. No response. They try again. No answer. After trying multiple times without making contact, they realize something isn't right. They call in the museum's security director, who immediately notifies the local police. Upon their arrival, the police search the building high to low. They eventually find the guards still tied up in the museum basement. The FBI takes immediate control of the case, explaining that the artwork could likely cross state lines.
And once it crosses state lines, this becomes a federal case. And that's why the feds are on the scene. Because if it would have stayed in Massachusetts, well, the feds would have probably showed up to this, because they're saying roughly 13 pieces of artwork is totaled over $500 million. So we're looking at about 13, probably like 35 to 40 million a piece. 13. Yeah, probably about 30 to $40. I mean, $30 to $40. $30 to $40 million per piece. Damn. Hey, you already know who they called.
The FBI. Yeah, this the FBI.
Damn. So in 81 minutes, they made off with roughly $500 million. Now, you know that number, it goes between 400 to 600. It is whatever you want it to be, but roughly about $500 million. Now, this is one of the biggest heists ever when it came to art. And it only took 2 guys, 2 trips in 81 minutes. Ask yourself, we've been on here for 50 minutes. We've been on here for 50 minutes. In 30 more minutes, they made more money. Well, they didn't make more money. Well, they did make more money, because one painting, even on the Underworld, we knew that Van Gogh went for $400,000 on the Underworld. So if you got 13 paintings, let's just say each one was going for 5. You know what I mean? Think about it. In 30 minutes, they did more than what we've done all day. Man, ain't that something?
They sweep the museum, leaving no corner untouched. They run weeks of intense analysis, collaborating across departments. Shockingly, they find no physical evidence, no footprints, no hair, no fingerprints. They pivot to relying on first-hand witness accounts. Based on witness descriptions, they compile a list of potential leads.
Rick Abbott,
A museum security guard,
Whitey Bulger,
a powerful Boston criminal,
Brian McDevitt,
a con man with a history of attempted art heists, as well as a number of suspects tied to the Boston Mafia. But the case doesn't go away. In 1994, museum director Anne Hawley receives a strange letter. She tears open the envelope and proceeds with caution. It's an anonymous note from someone claiming to be negotiating a return of the artwork. This letter is different from the many others she's received. It's articulate, non-threatening, instructive.
I want to point out that I had no part in the theft.
The individual wrote.
I only became aware of it in the past 6 months. Further, I do not know the identity of the 2 men who did the actual robbery. I am dealing with a third party.
The writer explains that the artwork was stolen to reduce a prison sentence. But now, the opportunity had passed, there's no longer a reason to keep the artwork.
Sounds familiar, huh? Sounds familiar, doesn't it? So they're saying that the Boston mob may have had something to do with it, and they stole the paintings because of a sentence. They wanted to negotiate a deal and get out of jail. Our boy Peter Roy Cage doing the same thing in 2020 over in the Netherlands. So artwork, hey, this is millions and millions of dollars. And these museums, prestigious. So they gotta recover these. They gotta recover these, or it's just gonna always look bad. And we're gonna start looking at the museum. Well, not us, because we don't give a damn. It's like, damn, they stole artwork. Okay, who cares? But for the museums, that's all they have. That's all they have is what's inside of that museum. And if it's stolen and they're being made a mockery of, they got 2 guards. Help! Free us! We're in the basement. Damn, boy. So if you ever hear any paintings if there's any paintings coming up missing, our first instinct now is who's in jail and who's trying to get out of jail. That should be our first thought whenever we hear about paintings being stolen. Who's in jail? Who wants a lighter sentence? You see what I'm saying? Who's in jail? Who needs a lighter sentence?
The letter goes on to say that the thieves want immunity for themselves and all others involved, and
$2.6 million
for the return. If the museum is interested in negotiating, they should
print a coded message in the Sunday edition of the Boston Globe.
Holly believes this to be a strong lead. She quickly contacts the FBI, who gets in touch with the Globe.
The FBI? Yeah, this the FBI.
The coded message is printed on May 1st, 1994. A few days later, Holly receives a second anonymous letter.
Nah, fuck that. Coded message. That's what we on now. Coded. What day was they say that was?
Edition of the Boston Globe.
Holly believes this to be a strong lead. She quickly contacts the FBI, who gets in touch with the Globe. The coded message is printed on May 1st, 1990.
Coded message, May 1st, 1994, Boston Globe. I've been selected. Hey, Boston Globe. Hey, man, we just trying to see the coded message, man. We ain't signing up for nothing, man. What's up with all these? Hey, man, we not paying for this. The Isabella student. Come on, Mo. Get there. Find the article. All right, here we go. Well, damn, this is Wikipedia. Maybe they got a picture of it. All right, here we go. Neutral art. So here goes our suspects. What they look like. Typical police officers. 30 years have passed since the 500 million haul. Blah, 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 blah. We want to see the message. 1953. All right, the thieves wanted complete immunity along with $2.6 million, which had to be paid to an offshore account. The transaction taking place as the art was being handed over. If the museum agreed to the terms stipulated, they were to print a coded message in the Boston Globe. The letter has seemed legitimate, the writer included. They contacted the FBI on May 1st. A coded message was printed in the Globe. Received a second letter several days later, but it appeared that the people behind it were starting to get cold feet. They expressed that they needed more time to figure things out, and they never heard from them again. Damn, I want to see the article. Hey, if anyone, I'm gonna continue the video, but if anyone can find me the article, I want to see what the coded message was. Is this it? Oh man, no. Wait, is this it? Had a role in negotiating. Oh, but we can't get on the Boston Globe, man. Oh, here we go. Read full article. Come on, get a screenshot. We got it. Before Boston Globe tries to make us pay. All right. On May 1st, 1994, the number one was listed a few spaces in front of the actual US dollar exchange rate for the lira. This was intended to send a message to the possible Gardner Heist suspects. All right, hold on. Oh, okay. Here we go. So the lira, this is the message right here. They put the 1 in front of it. So 100. Well, wait, let me do it this way. 1, 2, 3. It's 100. 1, 2, 3. That's 1,000. $10 million. Is that what they offering? $10 million? I got to see what this coded message means, though. Is the one just saying, hey, we ready to negotiate? Oh, that's probably it. All right. The writer proposed a way for the museum to respond to the overture. If the Gardner, golly, boy, hey, Boston Globe, we need y'all to put this in 34 font, bold. Y'all writing all small, man. Y'all know it ain't nothing but Mo and everyone older 75 on here reading y'all damn articles. All right. Let me see. The writer proposed for a way for the museum to respond. If the Gardner was open to negotiating a ransom deal, it should send a signal to him by arranging to have a numeral 1 inserted. Okay, so it's just putting a 1 there to let them know we negotiate. Listen for the Italian lira that will be published in the Boston Globe. And in fact, that Sunday, they did it. They listed it. Okay. So once, oh yeah, OT, this is just chump change right here. 13 patents, 500 chump change, man. I was thinking, if I'm doing a heist, I'm thinking 13 pieces of artwork for at least a Billy. 500 mil for 13. Come on, man. That ain't nothing. So this number one doesn't indicate anything. It's just a signal to say, hey, we're willing to negotiate. We're willing to negotiate and write us another letter. So if you were just looking at this, remember this is 94. So at this time, let's just be real. Let's take a moment in time. During the pandemic, I know a lot of y'all, I won't say y'all, but a lot of people were getting finessed with this. Oh, come trade Forex. We ain't heard about none of them Forex motherfuckers ever since the pandemic. Remember, everybody was getting rich. Now everybody broke. Now everybody complaining that Trump ain't putting ain't no money in nobody's pocket. What happened to everybody talking about joining my Forex training? Well, what the Forex is just basically just trading currencies across the country. Well, across the globe, my bad. But see here, they put this here. If you would have seen this one by the lira, you wouldn't have thought anything about it. Maybe it's just a misprint. But this specific indication right here, no one probably picked up on. They're like, why'd they put a 1 here? It's just a mistype. You see what I'm saying? This is 94, y'all. This is 94. None of us in 94, shit. What was I doing in 94? I was 9 years old? I for sure wasn't looking in the newspaper for this. I was reading the cartoons in the newspaper. But I definitely wouldn't have been looking over here to see what the foreign exchange rate is. You know what I'm saying? So this is just one little, they just said put a 1 next to the lira, indicating, hey, y'all want to do business. So I know. Y'all ain't gonna want to hear it. But this makes sense. This makes sense. There was another genius that did something similar to this. Now, y'all gonna hate when I explain why that person was a genius and why they did it, but you're gonna realize that this stuff really does happen in real life. And that genius name was Cooper Sachs. Cooper Sachs wrote letters to every individual character in the show after he died. That's how nice he was. If you want to negotiate with Cooper Sachs, if he sends you a letter, in the end, you will retrieve your prize. This one right here indicates, hey, we ready to do business. Let's get back to the topic, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Kenny, what you mean? You impressed how I know this stuff? I don't know nothing. I'm just reading what they telling us. I'm trying to put it together like y'all.
94. A few days later, Holly receives a second anonymous letter from the same source, confirming the message had been received. It mentions that the thieves need some time to evaluate their options. Holly never hears from the writers again.
Because the reason they didn't hear from these writers, and this is just common sense. If you're not I'll just say it's common sense. I won't say if you're not an experienced burglar or robber or anything. But if they were to put this in the newspaper, they know at this point they contacted the FBI. They know that the authorities are involved now because the museum is not going to negotiate this one-on-one. They're never going to do that. Even when we were watching
The FBI. Yeah, this the FBI.
they knew, Juntao knew that they were fucking with the law. They knew. So that's why you see them getting cold feet, because now they're seeing that the museum is going forward with, hey, we'll negotiate this. But anything that comes from that, everything's going to be under surveillance. Now, I don't know if these envelopes were like mailed, they got postage stamp, because when you pick up mail, they can trace your mail back to the they can trace it back to the damn mail drop off, that specific location. I don't know if y'all knew that about the postal system, but they can track all letters back to exactly where they were picked up from. Now, of course, technology wasn't what it was today, but there's several cases where they surveyed the postal drop off where they dropping off the mail, because if you look on your stamps, when they put that stamp on there, it's giving you a location. And that's also, well, when you look at the whole address, you know, everything breaks down, but the mailboxes do that also. So at this point, if they figured out that the museum was trying to negotiate with them, we got to cut ties with them. We got to cut ties, because they actually put it in the Boston Globe to that effect. The museum doesn't have enough power to go to the Boston Globe and tell them to mess up the currency exchange. You got to go to the feds to do something on that level. So that's probably one reason why they got cold feet. On top of that, there's no guarantee that they can get immunity. They want immunity for this. The guy said he was a third party. He didn't have nothing to do with it, but he wants you to guarantee that he can't get in trouble. Now, you got to remember, you cannot negotiate with the museum about getting in trouble, because once the feds take over, this becomes a federal case, and the museum has no power over it anyway. Now, you can turn it into the museum, and the museum might not do nothing from you or it won't anything from you. But the law, there's no control over that. So whenever you start negotiating with the police, if you are one of those,
I'm gonna tell.
make sure that you have a lawyer present. Make sure you get everything in writing, because somebody's word doesn't hold up in court. Now, you got to get that in writing, not from the police officers, but you got to get it in writing from the DA's office. That's the only person that's going to be valid. And you need to have your lawyer there to stamp it. Don't be trying to negotiate deals on your own, because you ain't got it. I ain't got it. We ain't got it. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
For years, the case goes cold. No new updates, no new leads, no new evidence. Until 2022.
Uh-oh, last year, y'all.
And authorities reveal a new clue.
Jimmy Marks.
A known career criminal
Jimmy Marks. Let's go find him. He's from Romania. Jimmy Marks. Victim. Boom. Here we go. We got him, y'all. Jimmy Marks,
who may be linked to the heist. Marks spent time in prison for a bank robbery in the 1960s and was a drug dealer with many connections among the Boston criminal elite. On a cold February evening, 11 months after the museum robbery, Marks was shot and killed while unlocking the front door to his apartment in a Boston suburb.
It looks like they got Jimmy Marks before we got Jimmy Marks. 11 months later, they popped Jimmy. Jimmy was probably running his mouth. Jimmy was probably gatekeeping the paintings. The mob allegedly probably got rid of his ass. Damn, Jimmy.
The killer had unscrewed the light bulb over the door to ensure Marks wouldn't see.
Typical mob hit. We see this too often in movies. We see this too often in movies. This is a typical mob hit. If you pull up to the crib and the front light is out, be careful if you're living this life. Be careful if you live in this life. Now, me, I got cameras inside my spot. So I can see if there's any movement or anything on the inside. So I can pull up to the crib without the lights on. But I know what the hell's going on inside my house. But this is this right here is a sign of a mob hit. They took the light off. Hey, man, what's wrong with the light? Damn.
What was coming. The murderer shot Marks twice in the back of the head and fled the scene. According to the tip received just days before he died, Marks was reportedly heard bragging about possessing 2 of the stolen museum.
I knew it. Gatekeeping. The mob was on him. Hey, bro, we put together this. You don't get to hold on to the artwork, Jimmy, and act like it's yours. We did the... Oh, okay, Jimmy.
Paintings. Authorities followed up, but found no evidence that Marks was involved. To this day, the case is unsolved. No arrests have been made. No art has been recovered. In 1990, the FBI estimated the value of the heist at $200 million. But today, art dealers suggest the haul could be worth $600 million. The Isabella Stewart Gardner museum theft is considered one of the highest value museum robberies of all time, frequently mentioned across TV, film, and pop culture.
This is the concert by Vermeer, which was stolen in 1990 from Boston's Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum.
Rembrandt's The Storm of the Sea of Galilee, Degas' program for the artistic soiree 1 and 2. Dear Lord, I believe I've solved the Isabella Stewart Gardner heist.
The Rembrandt. Storm of the Sea of Galilee. That painting's been missing for nearly 30 years. Missing? The thing's hanging on the wall of my house on Lake
The museum is still offering a $10 million reward for information leading to the art's recovery, the largest reward ever offered by a private institution.
I'm gonna tell.
All right, y'all. Look, it's what? It's like 7 of us in here. $10 million. Look, this is what we can do. $10 million. 7 of us, well, including me, makes 8. $10 million. What we can do is we get some information collectively. Anyone on the East Coast, I need you to go up to Boston. I need you to go do some investigating of your own. Once we get this information, I will personally go hand the FBI this information. I'll keep $5 million and then y'all can split the other 5. All right. Well, y'all can split the other 3 because I'm gonna use that $2 million to pay my taxes on my 5. Okay. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get $7 million. We're gonna put that in my plate right over here. So I'm gonna have $7 million over here. And then amongst you guys have had a $3 million and y'all split that $3 million. Because I gotta pay my taxes, y'all. I gotta pay my taxes on my 5. So I'm gonna take 7, pay my taxes, and then y'all split that 3 million, and y'all do what y'all gotta do. You see what I'm saying? I'm just gonna do what Diddy does to artists. Pause. You know what I mean? not that Diddy. I'm talking about Sean Puffy Cone. Whoa, wait, that's a pause too. I'm gonna take 7 mil. Y'all gonna split that 3 million. That sounds fair to me. I can get a few people on the phone. We can figure that out. All right. So Jimmy Marks. Let's see. Because this is in 2022. Oh, but before we get into Jimmy Marks, I got security footage, actual surveillance. Now there's no sound to this, and it is a little shaky, man. They ain't got the tracking on the VCR. I think we're gonna see a car pull up. Why we got to do a mode? Didn't get 3, 4. Well, I'm saying like that's fair. That's fair. Y'all splitting $3 million. Do any of y'all got $3 million right now? See, man, that'd be the thing, man. People be ungrateful. I'm over here doing a good thing for the community, man. It's the more you know, man. It's the more you know. I'm letting y'all know, look, $3 million ain't that bad. Yeah, it may be pocket change to my dog Paperboy, but $3 million, y'all can split $3 million now. Y'all can split $3 million now. Now y'all getting bougie. Talking about we need 5 more. 5? What y'all gonna do with $5 million? Y'all don't need no $5 million right now. Let me get the 5 million. Let me get some things together. You know what I mean? Go buy me a couple of Cubans. Try to put a down payment on the island. You know, let me go do some things with my 7 million. I mean 5 million. 5. 2 is for taxes. 2 is for taxes. But this is actual footage on the inside, and there should be a car pulling up in a second. Yeah, Kendall probably sitting on at least 4, 5 mil over there. She talking about 3 mil. I was gifted 3 mil for my 3rd birthday. What we talking about? 3 mil, Mo. So there goes the car right there. Now, at some point, this does get copyright. I think it's like at 3 minutes, like at 3 minutes and 40. So I'll stop it and skip it to like 5 minutes. Really can't tell what the hell's going on. But this is the security they had back then, y'all. So when we asked why couldn't they figure this out back then, look at this. Do you know how hard this was watching? Pause. We're watching this on our phones. Our phones are better than their security equipment. We can't tell nothing that's going on. We don't know if they flipping between 2 different videos, or is this motherfucker or is this just the way it recorded? So there's old boy that got tied up. The one that had the duct tape on his face and his mouth. That was the guy at the register. This is them going through the side door. Well, not at the register, but at the front desk. Trying to see if we can even see anything in this. But that's them going through the side door. And man, if they don't just pick one camera angle and leave it on that. Let me fast forward. I want to see some action. Man, I done downloaded this and we don't even see nothing. We just see the car dipping out. Man, ain't that something? Ain't that something? I done downloaded it. I thought we was about to see something, get it cracking, man. You know I don't do no reviews of this stuff, man. I just upload it and let's get to it. Man, this security footage was trash. I see why they ain't figured out nothing in 33 years. Man, this is a waste of my time. We ain't see nothing but a car and the VCR needing tracking. Damn. Ain't that something? Well, that's the largest heist right there at the Gardner. Hold on, let me see. I think they had a Gardner. "81 minutes." Oh, the Smithsonian got something on it. Let me see. A tantalizing crime crew. Okay. A tantalizing clue. A clue emerges in the unsolved Gardner Museum art heist. So this is March 3rd, 2022. The photos are still there, just cut out. You know what I'm saying? This is artwork right here. Authorities say new information on 91 cold case, fresh clues, biggest heist, 500 mil, priceless works, Rembrandt. Over the years, blah, blah, blah. Netflix did a television series, the hit investigative podcast from the Globe, WBUR, and a $10 million reward. Oh, and Mo recovered it. The location of the stolen paintings themselves may remain a mystery. The FBI said it's believed that the artwork has moved through organized crime circles to Philadelphia, where the trail went cold around 2003. So for 13 years, they were tracking it. 2003 is when it went cold again. Authorities might be one step closer to solving it. Anthony Moore, chief of security for the museum, tells Boston that the recent tipster prompted officials to take another look at the murder of a career criminal, Jimmy Marks. Now, we know Jimmy Marks died in February of 91, a known career criminal, but they're telling him to go look back into that investigation. If we could find out the murderer of Jimmy Marks, who is probably dead himself at the moment, then you could probably find out some information, because allegedly Marks had two of the paintings. On February 11th, 11 months after the heist, he was gunned down in front of his door. The killer unscrewed the light bulb, making Marks the victim of a classic mob style. I knew it, man. That's a pure indication right there. That's a pure indication. The light unscrewed. Man. The assailant shot Mark twice in the back of the head, according to the tip. Moore received just days before he died. Marks was reportedly heard bragging about possessing two of the stolen paintings that had been hidden. Some of the stolen artworks. Marks had connection to subjects suspected of being involved in the museum heist. We don't know what, if any, role he had, but very likely it was related to his death, officials say. And that's why they tell you to stop running your mouth. Be quiet. Don't tell everybody everything. There's no point in you bragging about these two paintings when we know that the two paintings ain't worth the damn on the streets. Yeah, you can get a couple $100,000, but it ain't worth the damn. So with you out here bragging, trying to get your clout up amongst the mob members, they're putting together a mob style hit because you have two other paintings. There's 13 of them, meaning there's 11 left, meaning all these paintings could be anywhere. There could be a damn storage room near your house that one of these paintings are rolled up in, stuck in the back of them. You'll never know. We have no clues. 33 years, no clues. FBI still talking about they seeking information. We're going to go to FBI.com and see what information they got. Because back then they said it was $5 million. I got to see if the price then went up. For $30 million, I quit everything I'm doing to go look for them. I can turn in one for 30 M. They didn't say you had to turn in all of it. It just says seeking information for $5 million. Yeah, it just says seeking information. Oh. So technically, hear me out. Technically, we don't have to tell on anybody. All we have to do is give information. Hey, I'm hearing that it's in this storage room over here. That's what I'm hearing. Now that's just some information. I don't know who owned the storage room. I'm just giving you information about the painting. I don't know nothing about nothing. I just know that maybe there's a painting over there. That ain't snitching. I'm just giving information to help the museum find a lost piece of history. That's all. That's all. Y'all can't knock me for that. I'm not telling on nobody. I'm just saying. World history might be in there. Y'all got to go check. You see what I'm saying? I'm not telling on nobody. I'm just trying to figure out where these paintings are. Let me see. Moore tells the news that Mark was friendly with the fellow mafia man, Robert Bobby Garantine, who has a long, we got to look him up now. Let's see what he's been doing. Who has long been a prime suspect in the heist case, and his family and his friend Bobby Donanti might have helped to transport some of the stolen paintings from Boston to Connecticut and eventually Philadelphia. So Robert, aka Bobby, he has something to do allegedly with transporting it from Boston to Connecticut to eventually Philly. So it sounds like him and what's the other dude now? I don't even remember the dude. Oh, Jimmy Marks and Bobby, they were working together. So Jimmy, he had two paintings. Robert, aka Bobby, would take these paintings and they would probably move them around for Jimmy and put them in different locations. Now, they probably couldn't get to Bobby, even though he's a mafia man. Or Bobby told that Jimmy Marks has been running his mouth about these paintings, and he told the mob, because he's a mob member, he went back, told the mob about it. Hey, I've been transporting stuff. This nigga Jimmy is wilding out. So the mob probably said, we got to take Jimmy out because he's reckless. He's running his mouth at the bars. He's bragging about these two paintings. Oh, we're piecing it together. Okay, we might not ever figure it out, but they saying that Bobby was the one that transported all this stuff. Mark spent time in prison for a bank robbery in the 60s. He was a drug dealer with many connections among the Boston criminal elite. He also spent a significant amount of time at home in Maine. Mark's niece, Darlene Finnegan, who was 26 at the time of the murder, tells the Globe that shortly before his death, Marks told her that he had something big coming up and he wasn't sure if he was going to do it. At the time, Finnegan had assumed Marks was referring to selling cocaine. Oh. So the niece is saying that Jimmy, prior to dying, said he had something big coming up. Pause. She thought it was cocaine. In reality, we know that he's fucking with Bobby, a mafia member, transporting these photos or these paintings to different locations. He has two of them. So he probably didn't know if he was going to go through with it. Bobby probably said, hey, he went and talked to the mob boss and told the mob boss, this motherfucker Jimmy's trying to hold on to these two. He's not trying to transport them where you want us to send them. That's why the hit was initiated on Jimmy Marks, because Jimmy Marks told his niece he wasn't sure if he was going to do it. Bobby has already put this stuff in plan. Whoever the mob boss is like, get that shit done. Jimmy Marks wasn't trying to do it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Now it's getting interesting. That's why we need all the names of these suspects. Another connection between Marks and a theft emerged in 2015 when Aline, Bobby's widow, pointed to a picture of Marks doing, oh.
Gonna, I'm gonna tell. Gonna, I'm gonna tell. Gonna, I'm gonna tell.
The FBI. Yeah, this the FBI.
Okay. Another connection between Marks and the theft emerged in 2015. Bobby's widow, Elaine, pointed to a picture of Marks during an interview with investigators and declared that her husband had been killed by him. So Elaine, Bobby's widow, pointed to a picture of Mark and declared that her husband had killed him. So Elaine is telling us that Bobby was the one that did the murder. So Bobby went to the house because we just seen that Mark said he wasn't going to do it. We know that these two were friends. We know that he was the one doing the transportation. He went to the mob boss. Hey, boss Godfather, let me talk to you real quick. Jimmy Marks is bullshit. They put the hit on Jimmy Marks, and his wife told on him. Oh my goodness. She told him he died in 2004. That is what, 11 years prior to her telling. She died 4 years after telling. Oh my goodness. Now, we don't know if she's for sure about this, but a lot of maybe he told her before he died. You know what I mean? But why would she have any connection to this unless Jimmy Marks was screwing all of them over? You see what I'm saying? We know that Jimmy is reckless. We know that you give Jimmy some whiskey, Jimmy's gonna tell you everything. Yeah, I got 2 paintings. What paintings you got, man? We got them from the Gardner Museum. You wouldn't even believe it, baby. Big mob style. What? Jimmy needs to shut up. She was very emotional when she talked about the fact that he had been killed by her late husband. Amore, who participated in interviews, tells Boston 25. Moore brought these findings to the media with the hopes that the renewed press attention might yield more clues, he says. Those who might have information about the circumstances of Mark's death or the fate of Gardner paintings in general can contact the museum's tip line. All right. Oh, now that's interesting. Let's see if we can find anything on Bobby. Because now we're getting it. Now it's starting to make sense. Where's Bobby at? Here we go. The late Robert. So in Wilbur.org, while Bobby may be the key in learning who pulled off the Gardner heist, Chief Shea of the Natick Police books Bobby on charges of robbing the First National Bank in 1968. So this is prior to all the robberies went down. But in 2010, FBI agent Jeff Kelly and the Gardner Ministry of Security, okay, we did that, were high-fiving one another. They felt they had just made a breakthrough in the Gardner Museum heist case. Well, here we are 13 years later. I don't think you guys should be high-fiving. Elaine, Bobby's widow, told them that 6 years earlier, her husband handed over several of the museum's stolen masterpieces to his best friend. So Elaine is giving up all the information. So Elaine told them 6 years earlier. So 2004, wait, Bobby died in 2004. So as soon as Bobby died, Elaine went on a press tour and she started giving up all the information. She told in 2015 that he committed a murder. 2004, she told them that her associated husband handed over several of the museum's stolen masterpieces to his best friend in a seafood restaurant in the parking lot of Portland, Maine. Her tip may not have led to a recovery, but her information was central to the reason top federal officials called a press conference in 2013, 3 years later after she gave the information. It was the first time authorities spoke so publicly about the case, so it raised public hopes that a recovery might soon be at hand. Now, mind you, Jimmy Marks had 2. We don't know if these pieces, these masterpieces that he turned over, what if these were the 2 pieces that Jimmy Marks had? What if he committed the murder of Jimmy Marks, got those 2 pieces, then handed them over to one of his friends? Because at this point, 2004, the mob was coming down. They were getting rid of the mob. He handed this over in a seafood parking lot restaurant. Now, she must have been there, or Bobby told her, I'm going to the seafood restaurant. I'm going to be handing over some stuff. Because she knows about the murder, allegedly, and she knows about him handing off these masterpieces. Let me see. Yet none of the federal officials who spoke at the press conference knew about another member of the Guarantees family who reached out to authorities with information. Shortly after Bobby's death in 2004, his daughter and his good friend from Maine retained a lawyer who approached the museum with proof that they could facilitate return of masterpieces. So she did have proof, and They got a lawyer. What did I tell you? Always get you a lawyer. They approach the museum with proof that they could facilitate a return of the masterpieces. What up, Torian? So now, oh man, what a time to be alive. And we didn't know none of this was going on in 2004. What was I doing in 2004? I wasn't thinking about no goddamn Gardner Museum, I tell you that. So in 2004, after he died, she gave up the information about an alleged hit that he did. She gave up information that he handed over pieces. The daughter and the good friend from Maine. Why did the good friend? Oh, the good friend from Maine has something to do with this. This might be the good friend that he handed the artwork over to. And now he's realizing that the feds are after it. So he and the daughter went and got a lawyer because we got to get it in writing. If we want immunity, we need a lawyer to negotiate this. Oh, it's all starting to make sense. The daughter was trying to turn this in to get some money because Props probably left them with nothing. He died an old mob member. Okay. Now it's making sense. Kendall, we were asking how could we believe her or not, but if they went and got a lawyer, to show proof that they could facilitate a return, Elaine was telling the truth. Well, we don't know if that hit is true or not, but that goes along with my theory of if Bobby did the hit, he may have did the hit and got the 2 pieces of artwork, which in return he turned over to his boy at the seafood restaurant. Now, this good friend that they don't mention the name of, they retained a lawyer because he probably wants immunity. Like, hey, I ain't have nothing to do with it. He gave me this art. Oh, ooh-wee. Okay. Let's continue. This is interesting. Let me see what they talking about. On 2 occasions, the daughter, Jeannie, accompanied by Erlene Bergman, yeah, we can just call it Bergman, submitted shreds of fibers that Jenny contended came from the paintings. That's what I was telling us earlier. When we authenticating these paintings, they take the fibers, the threads, they look at the paint. They can tell all of that. She contended that it came from the paintings and that her father had stored in their home in Madison, Maine. Tests ordered by the museum showed on both occasions that the submitted material had not come from the stolen pieces of art. Now, they were trying to pull a okey doke. They were trying to pull the okey doke on us. They were trying to get the $5 million reward at that time, but they didn't know that they was actually going to do a material test on it. And it had not came from the stolen pieces of artwork. And the reason they can tell that is because some of the artwork was still in the frame from when they cut the artwork out. So they compare that sample to the art that they still have hanging up. And they realized that neither one of them match. But Jeannie, now 49, has declined to be interviewed about her efforts to try to convince the museum that she had access to the stolen paintings. So they went and got a lawyer. They didn't know that they were going to do this intensive research to see if it was actually real and verify that the missing pieces are the pieces that she brought in here. Now she won't even talk about it. Now we got to see what the hell she's doing in life because something ain't making sense. Something ain't making sense. Something ain't right. No. It ain't right. It ain't right. Let's see what she's doing now. I'm going to send her an email. That's what I'm going to do this evening. I'm going to put together an email and ask her, hey, when your father allegedly had those pieces of artwork, obituary. No, we don't want the obituary. This is in 2018. Stolen artwork. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of research on her. We're gonna finish up this story on their background. Blah, 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 blah. She's declined to be interviewed about her efforts. All right. However, in an interview in 2014, Bergam told me that while Bobby never told him that he had the paintings, he gleaned in a separate conversation with Jenny in the lane that Bobby had wound up with a stolen artwork and had stashed him away. Maine law enforcement records attest to the close relationship between Bergam had with Gurntine, but Bergam says he was damn. He says he is yet to be interviewed by the FBI about his ties to the Boston gangster and his family. The FBI has declined to speak about the claims. However, Bernard Grossberg, a Boston attorney, and Gardner trustee Arnold confirmed Bergam's account that he had accompanied Jenny twice in 2005 to Boston with shreds of material that Jeannie contended came from the stolen Gardner paintings. Tests done on the first shred showed that there were, hold on, wait a minute. Wait, what? They just told us up here that these two, they had not came from the stolen art pieces, but down here, however, Bernard and the Boston attorney and Gardner trustee confirmed Bergam's account that he accompanied Jenny twice in 2005 to Boston with shreds of material that she contended came from the stolen Gardner paintings. Tests done on the first shred showed they were actually chips of house paint. I told you, they go in there and check that paint. I used to be able to do this. I could, well, like for lead and asbestos, I could go do all of that testing. I know the materials they use for that. But tests on the second pieces submitted showed that they had came from the covers of magazines. So the whole time, Jeannie was putting on the okey doke. She was putting on I knew she was putting on the okey doke when they said she didn't want to do any more interviews. She was trying to hit the okey doke. She was trying to get that 5 million. She was trying to get that 5 milli. She was trying to get that 5 milli. Okay. So we got house paint. We got pieces from a damn magazine. Okay, Jenny, you really tried to pull one off. The first shreds done actually showed house paint. Tests on the second pieces, they came from covers of magazine. I was very hopeful about this when the chips came, Grossberg said in 2014. Unfortunately, testing proved that. Otherwise, the hopes have all evaporated. Wait a minute. A Boston native and Marine veteran, Gurntine's name has been associated with several who knew the museum's poor security made it vulnerable to the heist. People like Ralph Rossetti of East Boston, who had surveyed the Gardner for heists in the early 80s. So Ralph Rossetti was trying to do this in the early 80s. Now let's see who Ralph Rossetti is. What crimes has Ralph committed? Ralph Rossetti heist. Here we go. Oh man, it's a book. Master Thieves, the Boston gangsters who pulled off the world's greatest art heist. All right. A definitive account of the Boston criminal underworld role in the infamous $500 million art theft traces contributions of master thief Luis Royce and gangster Ralph Rossetti. While examining FBI's controversial announcement that they identified the responsible parties. So they're saying it may have been Luis Royce and Ralph Rossetti. Let's see what Ralph Rossetti. Nah, not Rossetti from damn GTA. All right, here we go. So WBUR, what is this? WBUR. All right, so we here in this paragraph. Hold on, give me a second. So this is from 2018. Louis. All right, here we go. Consider that before this all started back in 1981, the FBI told them in 81, 9 years prior to the actual Gardner heist. The FBI told Gardner officials that a rogue criminal named Luis Royce had devised a plot to pull off a heist of the museum. He and a partner, a leader of a major crime crew, would carry out a smoke bomb attack during one of the Tuesday night classical musical performances and make off with the art, ensuing the chaos. Now we know chaos is spelled K-O-S-S. I don't know what this stands for, but we know chaos is spelled K-O-S-S. So 9 years prior, the feds, when I tell y'all the feds be working, 81, they went to Gardner and said, Louise, this man is crazy. He's trying to plan a heist. They knew the information before Luis and Royce, well, Luis Royce is the name, before Rossetti had showed up. This is back in 81. The fans were on it. They said, listen, they're going to have a smoke bomb. They're going to throw the smoke bombs while there's a performance going on. This heist was not elaborate. This was some generic, throw a smoke bomb, everyone leaves, grab some paintings on the way out and get the hell up out of here. The feds knew about this in 81. So let's see if they told them to step up their security. Because I'm sure if they got this, let's just see. Had that occurred, my cousins or their friends could have been performing at that concert. I interviewed the thief, Luis Royce. Many times, and he regaled me with stories of how he had grown to love the museum and his rich collection of visiting from the first time in junior high school. So Louise is saying, if that classical night would have went off, his cousins or their friends would have been the ones performing. Although I was born and raised in Boston, I'm a product of the public school system. I don't recall having being taken there for a school tour of the museum, but my high school, Boston Latin School, was located less than a block away. I would occasionally, man, we don't need your personal life, man. We trying to find out about the gangsters. We trying to find out about the gangsters and this art thief. Let's see what Louise Roy's heist, biggest heist. Let's see what he was known for. Master Thief, the Gardner Heist. Whose picture is this? Hold on. All right, so there go our two police officers. Let's see if they look like Louise. So this is Bobby. He was murdered in 91. So we know Bobby. Hold on, does Bobby look like them? In the updated picture, let me see Bobby. Nah, Bobby don't look like either one of those sketches. Unless he had a... Nah, his face is probably in between those. Pause. Okay, that's Bobby. We need a picture of Luis Royce. That's what we need. Okay, Boston University, 2015. This is Stephen Kirkagen, Old School Journal. Oh, man, we don't want a picture of you. We want the criminals. All right, man. Let me get back to where we were. All right. So anyway, she tried to pull the okey doke. We can't find Louise. After his release from prison from a bank robbery on charges in 1980, He moved to a small town in central Maine where he could bring friends and family members for hunting trips. Among these, he hosted was Robert Denanti of Revere and David Turner Braintree, whose names have been associated for years with the Gardner theft. So now we got 4 more people involved into this. Guarantee was a close friend of Carmelo Merlino and seen often at Merlino's auto repair shop in Dorchester, where the authorities once emerged that Gardner theft was planned. So, just like GTA, it says they went to his auto shop and they summarized, they saying that this is where they planned it, at the auto shop. All right, so Carmelo Merlino, he was arrested, convicted of robbing a Brinks armored truck in the late 60s. Merlino opened up an auto repair garage in the gritty Boston neighborhood of Dorchester. He was paroled in the 80s. So Jeff Kelly, y'all remember Jeff? We mentioned Jeff. He was the agent that was he's the FBI agent. He was the lead and the agent on the investigation, but he was the one that was doing all the interviewing. He believes that the heist may have been plotted there. Merlino talked about having access to stolen paintings after being arrested for operating a cocaine trafficking ring out of the garage in 94. So what do we know? What do we know about artwork? Who's in jail? Who's trying to get out of jail? All of them seem to be in jail for cocaine, but they always want to give up information about, hey, I got some paintings. We just found out about Peter Roy K over in Netherlands talking about, look, I can get you that Van Gogh to get up out of here. So this is the third time within this hour and 49 minutes that we've been over this whole debacle that motherfuckers go to jail and get to talking. So whenever you hear people saying, oh man, the mob wasn't snitching, as soon as these motherfuckers was getting locked up, they were doing the same thing everybody else was doing.
Gonna, I'm gonna tell.
Ain't nobody bigger than the program. Merlino talked about having access to stolen paintings after being arrested for operating a cocaine trafficking ring out of the garage in 94. So as soon as he get blammed up after 4 years of the robbery, he said, listen, I can tell you something. I know where some of the paintings are. Oh my goodness, this is deeper than rap. A few years later, the FBI placed an undercover informant into Merlino's garage and secretly taped Merlino's continued talking with associates about the Gardner paintings. So on top of this, in 94, he was still talking about it inside the garage. They had a fucking informant working at the garage. A few years later, let's just say it's 96, or we could do it for the 99 with Juvenile. He was still talking about having access to paintings after telling the police, the feds in 94, I can tell you about it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Soon, Merlino and the informant, oh my God, he was plotting with the informant of a robbery of an armored car depot in Easton, Massachusetts. The first thing that the FBI told Merlino and the other 3 that were arrested in the scheme was that all charges would be dropped if they could reveal the location of the stolen artwork. Unable to deliver, Merlino died in prison 11 years later in 2005. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh my goodness. I'm just gonna tell Merlano, man, it's the same shit that got Jimmy Marks popped. Running your mouth. Oh man. So right now we got Jimmy, we got Bobby, we got Merlano, we got Luis, that's 4. We got Luis's partner, Rolf Rossetti, that's 5. Not including the whole mob that's involved in this. Oh my goodness. Hey, mob family, I ain't got nothing to do with this, man. I'm just reading what they wrote, man. I ain't got nothing against the mob, man. I ain't got nothing against the mob. Let me see. Let's get back to the story. So we found out who Carmelo Merlino was. He had some involvement with it. In a saga littered with con artists and dead ends, I have come to view Guarantee as a legitimate suspect and worthy of a further investigation. Now, of course, we know that Jimmy's gone, Bobby's gone. The daughter tried to finesse them. We ain't heard from her since. Not only would we have been able to gain possession of the stolen artwork from several associates long tied to the heist, but his decades-long involvement with organized crime would also give him a way to hide the masterpieces. Oh, well. To summarize this, in 5 years, there's going to be $1 billion worth of art missing. And for the fraction of the cost, you get a $10 million reward when they're telling me that this artwork is roughly based off of the numbers, $600 million. So by 2025, we could just say 750, maybe 8. By 2030, it's going to be worth $1 billion. They got to be offering at least 100 M's. $10 million should be for one piece. $10 million should be for one piece. Come on, FBI. Y'all gonna have to step that up, man. Shout out to the FBI, but y'all gonna have to step that. That price gonna have to go up. Gardner, Heist, FBI reward. 2023. So in 2013, hey, it's 10 years later, man. That number got to be at least 50 M. All right. So here's all of the photos, the paintings that are missing. We got the Rembrandt. Oh, they stole this. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see what the museum has to offer. All right. Investigation. The return of Gardner's work remains a top priority. The museum, the FBI, and the U.S. Attorney's Office are still looking. Hopefully, they do not have Jenny Sullivan on this job. But the U.S. Attorney's Office are still seeking viable leads that could result in a safe return to the art. The museum is offering a $10 million reward for information leading directly to the safe return of stolen works. A share of the reward would be given in exchange for information leading to the restitution of any portion of the work. A separate reward of $100,000 is being offered for return of the Napoleonic Eagle Finale. Anyone with information about the stolen artwork should contact Director of Security Anthony Moore. Confidentiality can be assured. Now, man, they talking about $100,000 for the Eagle. Hold on. A share of the reward will be given in exchange for information. See, you got to read man. A share of the reward will be given in exchange for information, but the museum is offering. My bad, man. I'm talking about the police officer. The museum is offering $10 million reward, but they want the safe return of it. Now, if it ain't a safe return, they're giving you $100,000 for the little eagle and a share for any portion of the works. Meaning, if you got a little segment of it, and if it turns out to be true, they'll give you a portion. Now, we don't know what that portion is. I might need to email Anthony Moore and just verify, hey, if I can get a piece of this out of that 10 million, are we talking 1 million, $1,000? What are we talking for a piece, a portion of the work? You see what I'm saying? You got to read it. You think you're getting 10 million, but no. If you don't give us all the artwork, you're not getting the 10 million. See, directly to the safe return of the stolen works, not of just one. That's where you get this right here. A share of the reward will be given in exchange for a portion of the work. Ah, that's how they get you. Well, I'm off the case, y'all. We got 2 hours in. We found out about some artwork, the biggest heist in American history, well, world history when it came to art. And if they're not offering $10 million for the return of one, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I don't have the energy, nor the time, or the resources to go out there, find a piece of the artwork, and only get $100,000. If I find anything, you need to give me $1 million. You got to make the reward worthwhile. If you return any piece of it, we'll give you $1 million, because from that piece you can do DNA samples, you can do all kinds of stuff from there. Now it might lead to a dead end, but that ain't my problem. I gave you guys a portion of the artwork. I need $1.5 million, 500,000 for taxes, and $1 million after taxes. I want my millie tax free. So whether you got to bump that up to 1.3, 1.2, do what you need to do, but I want $1 million after tax. Also, whenever you go, shout out to Michael Irvin. He won his $25 million settlement from that lady lying on him. He got his job back. He's on TV. Shout out to them. But you always want to get your attorney fees paid for. Shout out to 50 Cent. Tierra Marie, you need to pay 50. You want to always get your money after taxes. I want 25 million after taxes. So that means you guys got to give me a $36 million settlement. Take that 11 M's off the top. I get the 20 million on the back end. Pause. It is what it is. But that's the way business works. You want those taxes taken out. Now, I had a lawsuit back in the day. My lawyer kind of finessed me. You know what I mean? I got a little change, but it wasn't nothing significant. But I was supposed to get that before taxes. So remember, I'm young. I don't know nothing about this. This is a 2004, I got my settlement check. It wasn't nothing big, but I got my settlement check. Now, it was supposed to be after taxes, and my lawyer ended up, because it was 3 of us, there was 4 of us on the case. We settled out of court. My shit was supposed to be tax-free. 2 years later, the IRS hit me up talking about we need 13 bands. 13 bands? I said, 13 bands for what? What? Nigga, wait a minute. I'm trying to call a lawyer. She trying to finagle and finesse a nigga. She got out of it though. But luckily for me, I ain't spend none of my money. And I paid that little, it wasn't 13, it was like 8. But I paid my little 8. It is what it is, man. But I was young. I was like 20. Was I even 21 yet? No, I was like 19. So I ain't legal system and all of that. I try to educate myself a little bit. Now I'm not no expert or anything, but when you get finessed and shit, you just look at it like, damn, it's a learning experience. It's still more money than I had, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But that was good. Hey, shout out to Eric. My dog Eric was in here. He said it's gonna be another 10 to 50 years before this case gets solved. I'm glad he brought this to our attention. This is what I want to talk about. Stuff like this, man. I like breaking this down, watching it. If you put it in the chat in the Discord, give me a second. I know Brillo hit me up. He wanted me to talk about something else. I'll probably do that tonight. Wednesdays are my off days. So tonight I got a old Bob, his son and his wife are coming over to look at the car for their son. So that should be gone by the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully Bob hit me up on Friday. What's up with the cutty? I said I got the cutty ready to go. Just got the car detailed today. So hey, we might not get $10 million, but we might get a little 10 piece here, a little 10 piece there. And hey, it's not how much you make, it's what you do with it. It's what you do with it. Now, also with my case, it's unfortunate that the 3 other members that were part of the party in this lawsuit, they had spent their money. They tricked their money. I don't know what they did with their money. Me, you know how I am. I stack all my bread. Boom, boom, boom. I ain't spending shit. I ain't spending nothing. I had that bink, bink, bink. I had that in the savings. Bink. You remember, I just told y'all the other day about motherfucking finding out about overdraft fees. This is like, wait, I was in South Dakota. So this was South Dakota. I went to Oregon. I went to Portland, Oregon in January of 2006 because my brother graduated and came up there and worked. So, all right. So the whole thing that happened in 2000. Oh no, that was after I got my settlement because that's why I was mad. Remember, I told you I had all my money and I put it into the savings. Yep. So I had my settlement money. It was just all sitting into my savings. I ain't know shit about stocks and bonds back then. You couldn't just get on your phone and buy it. I probably had about $1,500 worth of stocks that I was going through my mama's broker. My mom used to be a paralegal, so she knew some lawyers and stuff. So I was taking my money and I would just save it all because I'm like, man, one day I'm gonna invest in something. I wish I would have did it back then, but I didn't have the knowledge or the information provided to me. We didn't have Google. I couldn't just wake up and get on Charles Schwab, you know what I mean, or Webull, and you had to actually go sit down with somebody, write it out, get them a check, they go do all that. But I had my all my money in there. And unfortunately for the other three that were on the case, they blew their money. So when the IRS came a calling, because our lawyer finessed the fuck out of us, when she finessed us, they came a calling about the IRS. My homeboy hit me up, was like, hey, the IRS hit you. I was like, hell yeah, they did. I was like, shit, I'm about to go cut a check by the end of the week. Like, I'm paying my shit off this week. He like, damn, I ain't got it. I was like, damn, bro, that sucks. That sucks, man. Shit. I paid my 8 bands. I called my mama like, wait a minute. They said I owe $8,000. She said, yes, we're saying it is what it is, man. But that's why I say, hey. But I was 19. I didn't do no research on the lawyer. It was just, hey, they brought a lawyer in. Boom, this is what happened. I still made money out of it, but it is what it is, man. That's one moment in life I always look back on, like, damn. I wish I would have known what I know now. Also, you guys do know I could have been a millionaire. I just didn't know anything. I just didn't know anything. From my car wreck, my parents never sued. They never sued the lady that hit me. So while I'm in the hospital, they said she came and checked on me. The only thing I remember is probably 3 to 5 seconds before I hit the car. Boom, I'm riding, going down the street. Couldn't stop the bike. Boom, 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 boom. Seen the car coming. And after that, I woke up in the hospital. Now, my mom said the lady that hit me who was speeding, they never sued. Like at the moment, they weren't thinking about that. They were thinking about my safety because the doctor told me I wasn't supposed to survive. So I was in the hospital, critical condition for a while. I went to the adult hospital because they couldn't treat a kid in the child's hospital. So I was in there. They said the lady showed up several times, but after a while, she just stopped showing up once she realized like maybe my family wasn't going to sue. Now, as a minor in the state of Missouri, you have the legal right to sue up to the age of 21. I didn't know that information. I had found that out. Legally, I was able to sue the lady up to the age of 21, but me not being educated and my parents not really, they were just happy because that was the day I got hit by the car is the day my dad found the Lord. My mom said the day I got hit, when my dad was holding me, my head leaking, skull open, my mom said that's the first time she ever heard my dad call on the Lord's name. So for them, it was more of they were happy that I was alive, but there was a lot of shit going on. Now, if I would have, saying I wasn't educated, I would have sued her ass, and you would have been looking at Mo sitting on like 5-10 pieces because I'm going for the gusto. She was speeding. Matter of fact, what I'm gonna do one day, you give me some time. I'm gonna get the information from my mom, the lady's name. I'm gonna look her ass up and we gonna call her on the live one day. I'm just gonna talk to her about it. That's what I'm gonna do. That's my next project. I'm gonna find the lady that hit me and I'm gonna talk to her. I mean, of course, I can't sue her now. Thankfully, I'm alive, but that's gonna be my next task. So even if I gotta pay to get her information, I'm gonna find out who she was and what she's doing now, and just let her know that everything is all right. You know what I'm saying? I can't hold that against her, man. It is what it is, bro. Now she never went to jail. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know what happened to her. But I'm definitely tomorrow when I go to my parents' house, I'm gonna get her information. And we're gonna look that shit up, man. We're gonna figure that out. We're gonna see. We're gonna have her on the live. I'm just gonna, hey, I'm recording you. Just want to let you know this. But yeah. We're gonna make it do what it do, baby. We're gonna make it do what it do, baby. Let me see. Oh, I got it. Damn. Nah, she didn't. Like I said, I don't know what happened to her. You got to remember, I was like, this was on Father's Day of '92, so I was 6, 7, maybe 5, 6. So I was turning 7 because I got out the hospital for my first birthday. That's that picture I showed y'all where I had that Georgetown hat on. I wasn't talking to nobody. I had a birthday party and I wasn't even outside. I went outside, took the picture. I just wanted to be in the house. Man, I had staples in my head. I had like 36 staples in my head. I was a kid, man. Nigga, you think you have a fucking a headache, man. That shit was different, man. My head was throbbing. So when I slept on pillows, because my head, like, dog, it's my skull. Like, even in the hospital, I couldn't sleep on a pillow. They had to put a pillow behind my back, like by my neck, because my head was cracked open. I will say this though. I think that car accident was where like my stuttering came from. Because prior to that, I was fine, man. But like I said, I didn't talk for like a year. I only talked to my little brother. So I think that's really what fucked my head up, man. So that's why y'all see me like do a lot of moving. It's just like, man, after that, man, my body, I don't think my body was ever right again. Crazy. But yeah, man, I survived that shit, bro. Because a lot of people got hit like I got hit, but they ain't fucking breathing. RIP to them. I made it out though. But yeah, I'm gonna look her name up and we'll figure that out. But hey, man, that was the biggest heist, the Gardner Museum. Let's go see what anybody in Boston in here. Wait, what is this? The Dutch room. So this is the actual alarm, right? I didn't even see this. Is tight. So it says March 18th at 1:54. The Dutch room. The museum was equipped with motion detectors, so the thieves' movements were recorded. The best known works. All right, we know that. Blah 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 blah. They cut the Rembrandts out. So all of this artwork is really destroyed, but that's gonna make it worth even more because it's still an original piece. And they have been through all 33 years of nonsense. All right. So the Dutch room. Look at the technology right there. And this is one of them printers. Someone is in the Dutch room. Investigate immediately. Immediately. Someone is in the Dutch room. Investigate immediately. Immediately. Someone is in the Dutch room. Investigate immediately. Immediately. The whole time we know at 1:24, the police showed up. By 1:28, they had locked up the people. By 1:50, they were already having their pickings. So at 1:54, 1:55, 1:55, damn, this motherfucker was going off. Someone is in the Dutch room. Investigate immediately. Someone is in the Dutch room. Investigate immediately. This motherfucker was going crazy. They was in there. List of motion alarms. List of motion alarms, night of theft. All right. That's in the Dutch room. Damn, they taped him up. Man, look at oh boy. And he had a fanny pack on. Look at these security guards. Look what they were wearing to do security. We asking did they have guns? Man, they didn't even have a uniform. He had an an unbuttoned shirt with a fanny pack on. Damn, they taped him up next to the drain pump. To make it sound, understand how your family felt. My son got hit by 2 cars. I definitely know that feeling and fear. Yeah, man. So they said so they had a medevac me on a helicopter because that shit was serious. And the crazy thing is, I know y'all don't want to hear this, but like they said my skull was all right. Like I said, I do have a couple of rocks still in my skull. Like up under like certain days you can still feel like little pebbles up under my scalp. You can feel like little pebbles and shit because they had to vacuum it out. But remember, this is 92, so they didn't have that good of technology. You know what I'm saying? They had like a little medical vacuum to get the rocks and everything out of my head. But on the helicopter, My mom said, because they said I was conscious the whole time. So I got hit. All I remember is seeing a car, and that was it. I woke up in the hospital. But they said I was conscious on the helicopter. And on the helicopter, my mom survived breast cancer. So I asked my mom, did I have breast cancer? Because I was headed to the hospital and I was on a helicopter. I never been, that was my first time on a helicopter. But of course, I don't remember it. But my mom said the first thing I asked her when she got on there with me was, did I have breast cancer and was I going to die? So I got hit on Father's Day. I was probably in the hospital for about a month, maybe. Yeah, maybe about a month. Because they sent me to the adult hospital. I wasn't supposed to survive. So the one reason I stayed there that long is because they thought, saying that was gonna be the it. You know what I mean? They thought that was the end of Mo. Little did they know, man. I had a little left in the tank, man. I had a little left in the tank, man. Damn. Good times. But I do remember when I woke up, though. The first day I woke up in the hospital that I can remember, they had the tube in my nose. And boy, I couldn't breathe. You know what I'm saying? I had to take that mug out. They're like, no, you need that oxygen. So they had to tell me to breathe through my mouth. I remember that. I remember the nurses too. Because they brought me a Sega Genesis. I was the only kid in the adult wing. I was at the adult hospital. They bought me a Sega Genesis, but they didn't put the Sega in my room because I had to learn how to walk. Like my whole body was fucked up. I had to learn how to walk again. So they put the Sega down in the break room, and they had a pool table. That's the first time I seen a pool table with the little knobs in them. So I was playing pool, but the only way I could play the Sega Genesis, I had to walk. Each day I had to walk down there. I had to get up and be active. So I mean that was cool. My brother used to come up there. My brother used to stay the night. He used to always try to stay the night at the hospital with me, even though my mom would make him go home. One of my parents would stay with me. My brother always wanted to be up there with me though. Because the crazy thing, my brother watched it happen. My brother was there. Everybody was at the house. So I know my dad still feels bad about it, but I don't blame him. I mean, it just happened, man. It is what it is. Like, but I can understand because he wanted me to ride that bike because I was his oldest son, so he wanted me to ride the bike. But my little brother, and at the time was my best friend. It was my little brother and my best friend at the time, and they were on the porch. They seen me ride by the house. 3 seconds later, it was all, hey, I landed on my head and I was getting picked up in a helicopter. So my little brother at like 3 years old watched me get hit by a car. Damn. Kind of makes me tear up a little bit. But it is what it is. All right. Well, we got all that information. Oh, that's what I was going to look up. We're going to look up what the tickets are to get in this museum. But yeah, I still think that's the day. Like, man, that shit fucked my head up, man. I stutter and shit. Like, it is what it is. I may have been a lawyer, bro. You never know. $20 for adults. Okay, here we go. Free and discounted admissions. Now that's what I'm talking about. Oh, you got to be a member. How much is the membership? Niggas ain't going to the. How often are you going to the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum? And I don't know if it's enough to goddamn to get a membership fee. Oh, they cutting the trees. I'm about to say, who the hell is in? Oh, here we go. U.S. military and family members. All right. The Gardner Museum partners with the National Endowment of Arts, NEA, and Blue Star families to honor and thank members of our military and their family members. Use promo code for online discount. Valid ID. Okay. Let's see how much the promo code is. Let me see something. We're going to visit. We're going to use the online promo code. How do we buy? Oh, get tickets. Bad. Exhibit lectures. We don't want that. Here we go. Let's just say we're going tomorrow, September 15th. That's my brother's birthday. We're gonna go early tomorrow. So let's just say we're gonna go at 1 p.m. That's early enough for me. It's gonna be Mo. We got 12 people in here, so we're gonna say 8 people in here. Oh, wait. No. We're gonna use the student discount. Let's see if we can do a student discount with a military discount. Ain't nothing, ain't nothing wrong with stacking discounts on top of discount. Wait a minute, did I already pass it? So we can go at 130. We got a student discount. See, it says promo code right when we press next. Oh, they probably not giving a promo code because we got the student discount. Oh, there it is, right there. There it is. Promo code. Promo code by Bow US Meal with the student discount at 1 p.m. We should be getting in here for $5. Add the cart. Man, we can't just go as a guest. All right, never mind, y'all. We not getting in here. We not getting in here. But that right there was the Van Gogh. It was returned this year. We got the largest heist in history, 500 M's. 33 years later, we found out about some of the mob figures that were involved with it. I think this was a pretty successful day. Shout out to my dog, Eric. I didn't think it was going to lead us this far down the rabbit hole, but that's why I like this channel, because we need to be, you know what I'm saying? We just need to inform ourselves. And guess what? That's the Mo we know, man. My name is Moedotj, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tonight I'm probably gonna do another live. Like I said, I got the family coming over to look at this car. Hopefully they get it this week. They probably want to take it to another mechanic, but that's fine. Hopefully I can get that taken care of. And man, the days are counting down. October 5th, I'm up and out of here. So I'm gonna be out of commission for maybe a week, 2 weeks. I don't know if I want to, because I'm not taking these monitors with me. I'm just going to take my computer. So I have my desktop computer. I mean, I got an HDMI cord. I can just plug up to a TV, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm going to get that lady's information. We're going to try to contact her. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do it on live. We're going to try to contact her. Well, of course, I'll probably get the information and block out her personal information. But yeah, I'm going to try to find the lady that hit me. And we're just going to talk to her and see how she's doing. Let her know that, hey, man, everything's all right. But if you can support the channel, hit that Cash App, Moedotj, man, we definitely appreciate it. But I'm about to go ahead and get out of here. And thank y'all for tuning in. We're going to have more of this going on, man. This is good. That's what the Discord is for. Kendall is pinned in the chat. Kendall put the Discord for us. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll do more things like this, a little 2 hours out the day. And hey, man, it is what it is, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Kendall. I'm excited. I've been looking for places. I think what I'm gonna do, because I'm starting fresh, I'm probably just gonna. I kind of, there is this little condo downtown that I want, but I kind of want to get something that's furnished for the first year, so I get over there and I can just hit the ground running, knock out. You know what I'm saying? Knock out, getting the whip, getting the spot furnished. If it's already furnished, I ain't got to come out of pocket for that. And then at the end of this first year, then I'll go and get the actual place that I want, because it'll give me more time to look around. So I think I'm just gonna take the already furnished route, just so I don't have to pay out of pocket. Cop me a whip, probably about 10, 15 over there. Use the 10 from this. But then again, if I get 10, if they get both whips for 25, then I'm probably gonna put 20 up, and I'll probably just get a little beater or something to get around, because I'm gonna be utilizing the train a lot more. I'm not about to be putting a lot of miles on my whip like I did the first time I was there. I'm about to utilize that train. Yeah, I'm excited though, because I have a lot of stuff that I want to do. So the Olympics are next year, 2024. Would you guys want to like a vlog, or like a, you know what I'm saying, something of the Olympics? Because the Olympics are in Paris. I can get on the train to Paris and be there in like 4 or 5 hours. So I'm thinking I want to do that next year. Would you guys be interested in that? Me like showing the Olympics? Because I want to go for the opening ceremony, which is Friday, July 31st, I think. Is it the 31st? I want to go to the opening ceremony for the Olympics in 2024. I want to see the races. I want to see the 100 and 200. Hopefully they have those on the same day because I'm only gonna go like twice, and then I want to see the Olympics basketball. All right, bet. So we'll do the Olympics next year, and I'll have I'll start having more of my. I'll really be putting. I'm gonna actually hire somebody. I'm gonna stop being a fucking cheap guy. I'm gonna hire somebody to put together all of these vlogs that I got. But I'm gonna go back and redo them all because I got my mask on, and I don't like where I have to dub over it. To me, I don't like that. I want y'all to actually hear what was going on while I was there. But we got that. Let me see. Well, we got a little bit of free time. They ain't hit me up. They said between 5 and 6. So here's the so when I was in Greece last year, so here's in Greece. This is right after the accident too. You can see my damn face all scarred up. Boy, it was a rough time back there, wasn't it, Mo? So this here is the Olympics that they held in Greece. But now you can see that this place is abandoned. They wasted all that money on it. Let me see. So let's see, man. Got my little pouch. Just be out here free roaming. You know, I be out there solo a little bit. I go off and do my own thing. They do have a security guard. And like people just walk around here. But this is the old not the old Olympic Stadium. This is the Olympic Stadium they built, but they don't use it anymore. This is in Greece. So on top of this one, I got so this right here is the original. This is the original Olympics right here. This is where they were at. Yeah, so this right here is the first Olympic stadium. This is the largest marble stadium in the world. All of this is marble. Yeah, so this is the first Olympic stadium here that was ever built. This is in Greece. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff. I just ain't never put none of this together. I even took a jog. I jogged around the whole lap one time, boy. When I tell you I was out of breath, let me see. Oh yeah, here you go. But I was just trying to gather some footage. I never cut none of this shit up, man. Y'all know I used to be an athlete back in the day. I ain't run no track. And then right over here, this is where I would have been sitting during the Olympics. I would have been sitting in this chair right here. So that's where the big dogs are sitting. You know what I mean? That's where the big dogs are sitting. That's where the big dogs would sit. You know what I mean? You coming out there watching the games? Let me see. Yeah. This is where I would have been sitting during the Olympic Games. They would have said, Mo, we got a seat right here in the front for you, baby. We got a seat right here in the front for you, Mo. Said we do? Let me see what's going on here. Let me see the Olympic Games. The best seats in the house. Now, I was going to go down this tunnel. I got video of me in this tunnel, but man, that tunnel was long as hell, pause. I wasn't going down there by myself. Let me see. Remove all. Do I got medium icons? Yeah, Kendall, the eyebrow healed up nice, man. It was jacked for a minute, but Fuck all that. I got this damn blemish over here now, man. That's what I need to get rid of. But it's all right, though. It is what it is, man. Is this it? It's my older brother, man, the professional. But this is crazy, man. This was all hand built, man. Oh my goodness. Talking about out working. And then I think this is the tallest spot in Athens. So from here, you can see around the whole city. Where is it at? Let me see. Or is it on the other side? Damn, that shit was toe up too, wasn't it? Damn. All right, we back though. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna put together some stuff, man. I'm gonna actually hire somebody. We're gonna get some content out once I get over there, man. Cause I got a lot of shit that I never put anything together. Then we got the let me see. We got the change of guard. So I did like I said, man, when you go to these countries, you really only need 2 or 3 days. So if you go to like Europe, pick a city, go there for 2, 3 days. Don't stay there for a week. You're gonna get tired of it, man. Just go to the next spot. Like it's really inexpensive once you get there, to be honest with you. It's not really that bad. So we went out there for the change of guard. You know me. Man, where they at? Let me try to find one. Let me see. Yeah, after a while I had moved because I wasn't about to be around all them folk. Let me see. Change of guard. I was originally in the front, but then you seen everybody like I'm on the sidewalk. I'm right on the sidewalk. I was the first person standing over here. And that's why you see me like you see the curb right here. Curb right here. I was the first person standing over here. Then everyone came, and then of course these folk got in front of me like, "Hey man, get your ass on the sidewalk." So that's why I lifted my camera all the way up. Like, man, I was here first because everybody else was standing over here. I like, let me go stand in this middle part because this is the bus lane and the bike lane over here. Everybody came and stood over in front of me and shit. Like, hey man, we was in America, I get the whooping ass, but I was in a foreign country. I was like, let me chill. Everybody was around me, man. I ain't like this. If I show the video, you'll see me keep checking my pockets because I don't trust nobody. I'm trying to find the changing of the guards for y'all though. But they come marching down the streets. Like they'll get everybody off the streets and they be then they go up here and this group on the right side, they gonna march up. Well, they gonna come over and relieve them from their duty. Then you gonna see the 2 guys come from up top. They gonna come. And that shit was cool. I was like, damn, this is different. Damn, do I got any footage? Man, I know I do. I just don't know where it is. So this one wasn't nothing. Let me go ahead and delete that there. Delete that. I don't know, man. I know y'all don't care about this shit, but it was cool to me. Oh, here they come. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. They had the bike police. You see? I was the first person up here, and then everybody came and gathered, and they started getting in front of me. I ain't like that. He said the band sound weak. Man, this is just a changing of the guard. So this is just a ceremony here. They not like going to war. You're not gonna hear like no war cries or anything. So basically, they just coming out here to switch up with the other guys. They stomping the hell out them feet though, man. See, I gotta find the camera, the footage off this little camera. This won't be a little high def. I just be using my 360 all the time. Hey man, get your phone out my camera, man. Let's see who this culprit is. Who is this with this camera behind me? Hey man. See, this is a guy that kept bumping into me, man. So I took everything out of my bag and put it in my my charger and everything. I got it all in my pocket because this fool kept bumping into me. I'm like, oh nah, nigga. I mean, my bag is locked, but still, I like, nah, we good on all that, brother. I ain't know his phone was in the camera. I ain't never looked back at this stuff. Pause. Let me see. Did they do the change in the guard? Yeah, and then from there they just. So we see these two right here. They gonna go to each other. I don't know where the footage is, but it's in here somewhere. But these two, they gonna go over. They gonna walk up front. They're gonna basically dismiss those two. They're gonna hand over the guard duty to the next guy. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I did all of this in 2 days in Athens, Greece. I went to Metropolis. I went to see both the Olympics, the original Olympics and the one they built for, I forgot what, 2004 or something. So the thing about let me see. The thing about this Olympics here, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he tried to buy this so they could use it to bring athletics to Greece. So this is what the front of the stadium looks like in Athens after they stopped using it. Was it 02? Then where my play button? Oh, there you go. Man, this mug ain't gonna play. Oh, this is okay. It was messing up. My bad. This is when it was just it was taking photos and not recording. So this is the museum, and security questioning my brother because security questioning my brother about his camera because he got multiple lenses in there. So they thinking that he's like a professional from like a media outlet or something. So for me, I'm gonna cut this in a minute. I put my camera up because he's talking to my brother. I'm like, man, he ain't about to be talking to me about it. So that's why you don't see me go over there. I'm just acting like I'm reading because I didn't want to go through the threshold so he could be like, hey, you can't have that camera over here. So that's why I stopped. But they let my brother through, so I'm like, all right, bet. I can go ahead and go on through. I was over here acting like I was recording. So you know me, man. I thought we would have to run for a minute. So I walked off to make it seem like I was cool. But this is the stadium here. It's all rusted out. The inside's terrible, but they haven't done anything to it.
Golden Hall. Oka. Oaka. I don't know how it's pronounced.
And then this is just a layout of the land. But yeah, man. I got a lot of stuff, man. I'm gonna put it together eventually, but hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back on tonight, probably. What is it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably 8 p.m. Eastern. Probably 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna do that article that Brillo was talking about and see if we can find any footage, and we can see if we know if she has some history. You know, they usually do. Fourth grade teacher charged with the R word of a 12-year-old Tennessee boy. So when was this article? So this is September 13th. All right, yeah. So I'm gonna do that probably tonight then. So I'll see you guys in like a couple of hours. Grab me something to eat. Hopefully get this car sold, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, I guess. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Shout out to my dog Eric. If you have any articles, anything, just drop it in the Discord. You know, we'll find out about it. And of course, if there's anybody mentioning it, we'll look up what they got going on. Because I didn't know all of those people were connected to it. I mean, I knew there was a lot going on. I heard of Jimmy Marks in relation to this damn case, but you know, I didn't know that he had a guy named Bobby that was helping him transport. I didn't know that there was a guy named Louise. I didn't know none of that. But that was pretty good, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. I'm Moedotj, man. I'm out this thing, y'all.